Imagine being in one of the most prestigious places in the world, surrounded by some of the brightest minds of your generation. You're just another student, no money, no powerful contacts, and no guarantee of success. Now, imagine that inside your mind you have an idea that no one around you fully understands. Something that could change the way billions of people connect, communicate, and even do business. That's exactly how Mark Zuckerberg started. In 2003, he was just another student at Harvard, the most famous and competitive university on the planet. He wasn't rich. He didn't have billionaire parents. He had no guaranteed path to success. But he had one thing that most people don't have: a different way of thinking. From an early age, Zuckerberg refused to accept the world as it was. While most people simply conformed to reality, he wanted to change the rules of the game. And here's one of the biggest secrets of billionaires: they see the world in a way that most people can't. But is this ability something you're born with, or can anyone learn to think like a billionaire? Hold on to that question. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you something that could completely change the way you see opportunities and success. Now let's get back to the story. The first step: creating something. Unusual, Zuckerberg's first big idea wasn't Facebook. Before that, he created a website called FaceMash. The concept was simple but incredibly addictive. Harvard students could access the platform, compare photos of other students, and vote on who was more attractive. This might sound silly, but the impact was massive. Within a few hours, FaceMash blew up in popularity. So many students logged in at once that Harvard's servers crashed. But that fame came at a price. Harvard's administration wasn't happy at all. Zuckerberg was called in for disciplinary action, and the site was immediately shut down. Now think about this for a second. You just created something that went viral in a matter of hours. You proved that you have the power to capture attention and influence people's behavior. But instead of recognition, all you get is a warning that your creation shouldn't exist. Most people would have quit at that moment. They would have thought, okay, this isn't for me. But Zuckerberg didn't see things that way. He understood something crucial. People want to connect. They want to feel like they're part of something bigger. And that was the spark that gave birth to what would eventually become Facebook. Now ask yourself this: how many opportunities pass you by because your mind isn't trained to see them? Billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and Jeff Bezos all have one thing in common: they can spot patterns and opportunities before anyone else. But can you learn to do the same? The answer is at the end of this video. But first, let's find out how Facebook was really born. The birth of Facebook, the moment that changed everything. After FaceMash, Zuckerberg started thinking bigger. He realized that it wasn't just about voting on photos. The real power was in creating a space where people could truly connect. So he teamed up with a few friends, and in 2004, they launched a platform called the Facebook. At first, it was incredibly simple. Only Harvard students could create a profile and add friends, but within weeks, thousands of students were using it. Soon, other universities started asking to join the network. What Zuckerberg did here was something many entrepreneurs fail to understand. He tested a small idea before expanding it. Most people try to launch something huge right away. They want to release the perfect version of their business from the start. But billionaires know that the real secret to growth is starting small, testing fast, and adjusting along the way. That's exactly what Zuckerberg did, but there was one essential ingredient still missing to turn this platform into a billion-dollar empire: money, and that's when the investors started to appear. The first big opportunity, the investment. That changed everything as Facebook began spreading through universities. It caught the attention of an investor named Peter Thiel, one of the co-founders of PayPal. Thiel saw the site's potential and decided to invest $500,000 into the project. Now think about this. If someone offered you $500,000 to grow a website you built in college, what would you do? Zuckerberg made a radical decision. He dropped out of Harvard and moved to Silicon Valley. He bet everything on the idea that Facebook wasn't just a website, but the future of the internet. Now pause for a moment and ask yourself, how many times in your life have you had an opportunity but hesitated to take a big step? Billionaires, Like Zuckerberg, make fast, decisive moves because they see the game differently. They don't think like the average person. But is that something you can learn? Here's something interesting. Scientific research has proven that our brains can be trained to spot opportunities and make faster, more strategic decisions. And there are specific techniques for this. If you want to understand how this process works and how you can apply it to your life in just 7 days, I've left a link in the pinned comment explaining everything. Before we continue, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Facebook was growing rapidly, but Zuckerberg wasn't a billionaire yet. What happened next is what truly made him go down in history. But to get there, he had to make an extremely difficult decision. And this decision is what separated Zuckerberg from any other ordinary college student. What did he do? That's what we're going to see in the next section. 2004. The turning point that changed everything. By the end of 2004, Facebook was no longer just a college experiment. Thousands of students were addicted to the platform, and its growth was unbelievable. But Zuckerberg knew this was just the beginning. He didn't want to create just a popular website for students. He wanted something much bigger. That's when he made one of the hardest decisions of his life. He dropped out of Harvard and moved to Silicon Valley, the tech capital of the world. Now think about this for a moment. You're studying at Harvard, the most prestigious university in the world. Anyone in your position would follow the safe path. Graduate, get a high-paying job and secure a comfortable life. But Zuckerberg wasn't interested in a safe path. And this is one of the biggest differences between those who build billion-dollar empires and those who stay in their comfort zones. Billionaires don't think like the majority. They don't wait for everything to be perfect before taking action. They make decisions based on what the future could be, not just what the present is. And this exact mindset is what separates those who follow orders from those who create their own destiny. But is this something you're born with? Or is there a way to train your mind to see opportunities the way billionaires do? Hold on to that question, because by the end of this video, I'll share something that could completely change the way you think about success and money. Now back to the story. Explosive growth. Facebook begins to dominate the world. After Zuckerberg dropped out of Harvard and moved to Silicon Valley, Facebook started growing even faster. By early 2005, the platform had about 1 million active users. But within a few months, that number skyrocketed to $5.5 million. People weren't just using Facebook, they were completely addicted to it. That's when Zuckerberg realized something incredibly important. The true value of Facebook wasn't just in connecting people, it was in capturing their attention. And this became one of the most powerful insights of his entire career. In the world of business, whoever captures people's attention holds the power, and this is one of the biggest reasons billionaires become billionaires. They don't just sell products or services, they sell attention. And today, attention is the most valuable asset in the world. Now pause and think. If capturing attention is the key to success, how can you apply this to your own life? The answer might lie in how you train your mind to recognize opportunities before everyone else. And very soon, I'm going to tell you something that could help you do just that. But before that, we need to talk about what took Facebook from a promising company to a billion-dollar empire. The first billion-dollar offer, Zuckerberg turns down $1 billion. By late 2006, Facebook was growing so fast that it caught the attention of Yahoo, one of the biggest tech companies at the time. Yahoo's CEO made a $1 billion offer to buy Facebook. Now imagine this for a second. You're just 22 years old. You created a website a few years ago, and out of nowhere, someone offers you $1 billion in cash to buy your company. Most people would have accepted the offer without thinking twice. After all, $1 billion is enough money to never have to work again. But Zuckerberg did something that shocked the world. He turned down the offer. In his vision, Facebook was just getting started. He knew that if he kept growing the company, it could be worth much more than that. And he was right. Now think about this for a moment. How many times in life have you been afraid to take a risk? How many times have you missed an opportunity because the safe option seemed more comfortable? Billionaires make decisions very differently from the rest of the world. But is that a natural gift? Or is there a way to reprogram your mind to make smarter decisions and see opportunities that most people miss? I'll tell you more about this at the end of the video. But now let's talk about the moment Facebook finally became a money-making machine. The billion-dollar shift.
And a prayer that transforms.
How Facebook became the most valuable company on the internet.
Night of the year.
After turning down Yahoo's offer, Zuckerberg knew he needed to turn Facebook into a real business. That's when he made another bold move. He bet everything on an advertising model. Until that point, Facebook was just a free platform for users. But Zuckerberg understood that the real value was in people's data and the attention they gave to the platform. He created an advertising system that allowed businesses to run highly targeted ads for each user. This transformed Facebook into the most powerful online advertising machine in history. By 2007, Facebook made its first $150 million in ad revenue. By 2009, that number had jumped to $800 million. And in 2012, when Facebook went public on the stock market, the company was valued at $104 billion. Zuckerberg, who started as a college programmer at Harvard, was now one of the richest men on the planet. Now, look at this journey and think, what really made the difference in Zuckerberg's life? It wasn't just coding. It wasn't just luck.
Open your heart and allow
it was the way he thought and made decisions. And that is the biggest lesson of this video.
That on this Christmas Eve,
the billionaire mindset, how to think like the world's richest.
Stay with me
People
until
billionaires
the end,
don't see the world the same way most people do. They make decisions quickly. They see patterns and opportunities that others miss. They know exactly when to take risks and when to hold back. And this isn't something you have to be born with.
The world remembers the
Today,
birth of Jesus,
there are proven
the
techniques
Savior,
to train your brain to think like millionaires and make smarter,
but beyond
more
the
profitable decisions.
I want you to understand
if you want to understand how this works and how you can apply it to your life in just 7 days, I've left a pinned comment with a special link that could help you completely change the way you see wealth and success. Now, tell me in the comments, if you were Zuckerberg in 2006, would you have sold Facebook for $1 billion or kept the company? And now watch the next video. It's just as incredible.
Open your heart
See you
and
next
allow
time.
me to transform everything within.